Welcome to Saudi Arabia, who are playing host to the UIM Xcat World Championships for the very first time. The Xcats will be heading out there into the Persian Gulf, giving us a boatload of action as we have become accustomed to. This will be the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix, named after the region of Saudi Arabia that we are lucky enough to be in. Just down the road from the marina is the city of Dammam, one of the most culturally important cities in all of Saudi Arabia.
We prepare the boat just to see how is tomorrow for the pole position. We need to training more tomorrow morning, me and Darren, but we do a couple of laps just to be sure that everything working and to give a time to the mechanics to have a double check everything. We are confident that we can are on the top with the fastest team.
Good afternoon everybody and welcome to Saudi Arabia. This is the very first UIM Xcat World Championship race to ever take place in this incredible country. This will be race number 1 of the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix. Now, if you missed pole position qualifying, first question, where were you? It was incredible. We have got on the last lap of pole position qualifying HPI Fujairah racing team nipping themselves into pole position. In second place, well, it's those plucky Australian-Italian duo of 222 Offshore. And then in third place, it is Xcat as they head into this weekend in the lead of the championship. I'm going to move backwards slowly because I have got the man from Norway, Eric,
yes, hi.
Mr. Xcat.
Yes.
How did you find pole position?
A little bit, we could do a little bit better, I think, but yeah, we'll see.
Now, you told me earlier today you had to race with your head, not with your heart. Is that going to be the case out there today?
It's always the problem.
You are a problem.
Yeah, I'm a problem. No, we have to think now. We're driving for points.
That's it, because you come into this weekend leading
Yes.
the championship.
Yes.
Not long to go now.
No, it isn't. So you have to start thinking a little bit now. But I love this weather. It's starting to blow up. Rough sea. It was quite rough up there. So we're going to see.
There we go. There we go. All right, Eric, best of luck,
Thank
mate.
you, thank you.
We'll see you later. Eric there. He pilots boat number 2, Xcat. I've just missed Jan Ries Korteland there, who's, Martin Campbell, trying to run away.
As always.
Well, you know, you've heard the rumours.
Obviously.
Defending champions, you've had a bit of a rough seas and a rough time of it. How are we feeling today?
Yeah, we've had a rough year. Started off bad for us and unfortunately it's continued right the way through. So hopefully today we've got a little bit of luck on our side. And yeah, we'll go out and hopefully bring it home in one piece.
Well, yeah, you've ended up seeing the wrong side of your Xcat a few times this year, but you did really well out there in qualifying, mate.
Qualifying and race two different things, as we all know. So we're just going to go out and try and enjoy it and see where we come.
Martin, I'll let you go.
Thank you.
Cheers for talking to us. So it was Chicho.
Hi, sir.
The bruising Belgian.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this once, we're live. How are we feeling, boat number 88?
Well, we're good. We had some problems during pole position with the fuel tank. Now we're good. I see that the wind is picking up, we have the smallest boat, so we need some rough water to have the same speed, or more or less the same speed as the other boat. So yeah, let's hope for the best.
Feeling confident?
Yeah, I am.
Always.
The rougher
Always.
it is, the better it is for us.
Well, this is it.
Always.
Well, best of luck. Godspeed.
Thank you, Stu.
No, that's all right, mate.
Bye.
Anytime.
Thank you.
So I call him the Belgian Bruiser. It's not a long story. The man's from Belgium and he loves a tough fight out there on the water. As he said, he went out for qualifying himself and Jan Ries Korteland and fuel pump issue. And this is the thing, you're not just fighting each other, you're not just battling the elements, you're also battling your Xcats as well. So it is a huge part of what we need to do. So just a reminder, we're going to head out there for a 40 to 45 minute race and we have long laps, something that we will talk about later on throughout the program. I'm just going to quickly check the time. So we've got 5 minutes or so before everybody should kind of start heading out. Just looking for what colour flag. You can see there 222 offshore are just being dropped into the water. They were in pole position for the longest time today, but then just pipped at the post by boat number 96, HPI Fujairah Racing Team, who are manned by Rosario and Giuseppe Schiano the Colla. They are second in the championship as it stands, and we will see where we go from there. So it's all action stations here for the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix. As I say, this is the very first time that the UIM Xcat World Championship has come to Saudi Arabia. We've been here for about a week or so, and it has been the most hospitable place to stay. The weather has been gorgeous, the food has been sublime, and the coffee has been on point. There is nothing more that I personally could ask for. So as I have a little look around, who can we see? What have we got? We've got some of the crew. We've just seen Isa just walk past there from Victory. I think you can tell Victory by their overalls. They're incredible. Nice big V on the front. Hopefully we see somebody else from the team, but we won't. And then Xcat. So we were talking to Eric earlier. So it's Eric and Seba. They are the current leaders of the 2024 UIM Xcat World Championship. They're leading by not a huge margin. They've got 194 points over 155 of HPI Fujairah Racing Team. So they have a lead, but a lead that they will want to protect all the way through to the final weekend. But the Xcat crews are getting ready to jump into their cockpits and head out into the Arabian Gulf, and now feels like as good a time as any to head over to the studio where we will pick up our commentary for this, the very first race of the Alsharqiyah.
back, everybody. This is John. Welcome back to the UIM Xcat World Championship Alsharqiyah Grand Prix for Race 2. Following Race 1, following the first pole position session earlier in the day. So for today, we have a total race course of 53.94 nautical miles. First lap, 3.82 nautical miles, 12 race laps, and 2 long laps, totaling 8.12 nautical miles. These long laps are mandatory. Now, another interesting aspect is that the race 1 results will determine the race 2 line position, so we will not be having a pole position session for race 2. So earlier on the day, we had HPI Fujairah Racing Team valiantly taking pole, following 222 Offshore in second position. Current HPI Fujairah Racing Team stealing away that pole right at the last minute. Xcat, the Nordic powerhouse, in third position. Team GB in fourth. Victory Team in 5th, Sharjah Team in 6th, QA Oils in 7th, and Console Brokers in last position. They only managed to get onto the race course for the pole position session quite late. To be honest, so they did not manage to clock in a lot of laps. That said, valiantly made it onto the race course nevertheless. So the long laps are mandatory. First one needs to be taken between lap 3 and until the 70% completion rate, and the last one until the end of the race. Now, team managers need to be very strategic on when they use it. They use it too early, might backfire. They use it too late, it might also backfire. And I am joined by the very hot Stuart Porro. How is it out there?
It's warm. It's 28 degrees according to my mobile weather app. Pretty warm here in Al Khabar, the beautiful venue for this Alsharqiyah Grand Prix in Saudi Arabia. Luckily, our commentary booth is not too far away from the pontoon, and I am very athletic, so it was not a hardship. But I've got to say, I'm very, very excited for this first Grand Prix of ever here in Saudi Arabia, and so that is going to be very, very exciting. We're just facing the smallest delay. In fact, actually, we look like we're bang on time for the white flag to be shown, which means all of the crews have to get themselves out to their Xcats and then out onto that beautiful water. We were talking to Eric earlier on in the programme. Hopefully you caught it out there. And there was a mention of a breeze, nay, a wind. And you can kind of see it a little bit there, but we were out there, and there's Chicho just getting ready.
And Yassi's Korteland looking very proud.
Look at Jan Ries Korteland. That man is made for the cover of a magazine. He was standing there ready for his Vogue shoot. Other glossy magazines are, of course, available. But a great job to see them back out there, which is good stuff. I didn't see Faz Marine coming out, so I think we might be missing them due to the damage earlier today, but hopefully we do see them in due course across this racing event. And there is the whistle. We have a white flag. Everybody has to get themselves into their Xcats. How warm is it going to be in those Xcats, John?
Unbelievably hot, I imagine. So indeed, white flag is up, so the drivers need to make their way into the cockpits, and the green flag will be raised shortly afterwards, where the boats will make their way out in pole order, and then we'll start the lining up procedure alongside the pace cats.
Yeah. So the start procedure, very similar. I'm sure you spoke about it before I arrived, but very similar to what we have seen before. But with rulings as they are, they can't cut in front of their competition until they round the first buoy. So until they get round Sierra 1, Sierra 2, Alpha 1, there is going to be no movement there whatsoever. I love the starts of Xcat races. I really, really do. What a shot there. I just missed Salomon Issa as I was filming out there earlier. I really wanted to show those racing suits off on front of camera, but you can see them now.
You can actually see how almost claustrophobic it is, how tight everything obviously is then shut closed, so the heat in there must be unbelievable. They're fire retardant suits as well, so
yeah, exactly. It's a claustrophobic place to be. It can sometimes be quite a smelly place to be. The fuel sometimes does emanate a certain acrid smell, so they've got to be very, very fit guys. I was talking to Giuseppe of HPI Fugera Racing Team just after qualifying, and he spoke about just how hot it was. He was struggling to kind of keep his eyes open almost and kind of see ahead of him. It's like, you know, when your eyes fog up inside of your own eyeballs, and so that was an issue. They're just fighting the elements. So it's one of these things. You're fighting the elements. You're kind of fighting against your own body. Then you've got to think about the boat. Then you've got to think about your competitors. Then you've got to think about your laps. Then you've got to think about your long laps. Then you've got to think about the race. Then the championship, so on and so forth. So it's a mouthful for me to say, but imagine what it's going on inside of these brains. So it's a big deal. Big deal.
Yeah, and we just saw console brokers there, Alfredo Amato and Roberto Lopiano, currently in last position in pole order. They didn't, as I mentioned, manage to make their way onto the waters. They were quite late to get on there, so didn't manage to clock in much time.
Yeah, I spoke to one of the team actually at Console Brokers in between qualifying and the race here, and he mentioned what the problem was. So a bit of an issue with the loom, or the stack, I should say, before they headed out. So, you know, relatively simple-ish fix if you know what the problem is. So it looks like they have that sorted, but just great to see them out there. It is going to be testing for these crews, but everybody is pretty much pointing the right way. We're just seeing the final hatches being closed, and then we'll be ready to race. We'll be waiting, at least at our end, for the blow of another whistle.
Yep, and just to remind everyone, pole position order. So we have HPI Fugera Racing Team taking pole, followed by the Australian-Italian duo of 222 Offshore, Xcat in third, Team GB in fourth, Victory Team in fifth, Sharjah Team in sixth, QA Oils in seventh, Console Brokers in eighth, followed by Tessel Mare, and Faz Marine, as it seems, will not make their way onto the Saudi Arabian waters this time around, unfortunately.
And that's the back of Sharjah that you can see there, and the crews are getting ready just to push the Xcats away, just to give them a little bit of room from the pontoon. It's a lovely pontoon here. I know this is going to sound very, very nerdy, but you know, I've walked up and down pontoons all over the world with this championship. Some of them are dicey. Some of them I don't feel particularly happy to be on them, but this marina here is beautiful. You can just see it there with our drone footage, or you can just about see where we are on the right hand side, just on the crane. Anyway, it's not about us, but
not actually on the crane.
Not on the
next
crane.
To the crane.
Next to the crane. Next to the crane. Yeah, thank goodness I'm not on that crane. I'm much happier being by the water or in the water than 3 or 4 stories up on a crane. But the cranes are a vital part of what we do here. Everywhere we travel, we need at least these 2 cranes to be able to move the Xcats into the water wherever we are around the world, and everywhere that has hosted us does an incredible job of helping us facilitate that. None more so than where we are right now in Saudi Arabia. The support teams here have been incredible. Everything has been amazing, if I'm honest with you. And you know, from food and lodgings and things to do and things to see, all the way through to the very real logistical support that is needed for this championship to go ahead and allow us to do what we love, which is race out there on the water. So they're just about ready to go, I would say. We're down to the final 2-ish minutes before they head out. What a wonderful shot that is of where we are. That is incredible.
We should be having the green flag momentarily. HPI Fujairah Racing Team has started their engines, so they should be making their way out to the water in any moment.
Just any
now.
moment, any moment. There we can see. I can actually see our cameraman just pointing into the window of Q8 Oil's boat number 17. Yeah, just. Yeah. Get away.
Telling him off a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, what are you meant to do? This is the thing with camera people. They get into all the nooks and crannies that you don't necessarily want them to get into, but that is why we love them. So that sound that you might actually be able to pick up just about in our microphones, that is our pole sitters. That is HPI Fujairah Racing Team. Rosario and Giuseppe, I mean, they are really on fire at the moment. That's the whistle, good to go.
Yep, green flag is up.
And Q8 just having a bit of an issue there. We'll have to see, is that a... Oh well, we'll have to wait and see if they make it out. It looks like they hopefully should do. I think it's a GoPro they're trying to stick to the top actually. But that is our pole sitter leaving the pontoon now. Rosario and Giuseppe are off to see if they can build on their incredible positive performance in Italy last time out in Basilicata, but that is gone and forgotten. Now we have second place, 222 offshore. Darren and Giovanni. Saw Darren at lunch.
Yeah, quite right. He looked a bit knackered,
He did
to be
look
honest
tired.
with you.
But good. You know,
but
he looked ready for it.
He always looks good.
He does. It's annoying.
He's our favourite Aussie, ain't he?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
He's my favourite Aussie.
I bet he's him and Pat Cash. I would go with. But yeah, pretty good. So off they go. Giovanni Carpatella, Darren Nicholson, an incredibly experienced duo heading out there, and then you can just see the orange liveried Swedish speedster of Sweecat heading into their third position. Team GB just joining in fourth. We spoke to Martin live on the pontoon, which I know he absolutely detests, so thank you very much. And I also had a little run-in with Scott as he was on his way to the boat as well, which we'll save for behind the scenes, because it was a conversation that we didn't have time to air. And then we will see how the 2023 defending champions do. They did, you know, they've had a really tough defense of this title, but it's great to see them out there. And off we see them in unison victory just behind Team GB. Aysat Al Ali and Salim out there as well. Salim Al Adidi, Aysat Al Ali of boat number 7. Victory team. Got to be very confident to call your team Victory, but it is well founded and well placed. They are astonishingly well decorated throughout their time on water.
So as you can see, all the boats have been called out in pole order, leaving the pontoon, making their way onto the race course. This is the so-called parade, where everyone will line up next to each other, obviously in pole order. Once the pace cat determines that the order is correct, no one is doing any funny business, we'll have they'll give the go for the race, the actual race to start. Now, if they deem that it's not satisfactory, we'll have a yellow flag, and the whole start procedure needs to start all over again.
Yeah, it sounds complicated, but certainly this year we've not really had any problems. Everybody has been well behaved. Oh wow, okay. You can just see there that the wind is coming from the Gulf, and it is definitely choppier than it was for pole position qualifying.
Interesting. So this may benefit 222 offshore going into this.
For sure. For sure 222, for sure Tesla Marit, for sure Team GB.
HPI, not so much, eh?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you talk to the guys at HPI and they say they're quite happy when it's like this. But, you know, I mean, you can just see, oh yeah, okay, the swell is coming in not quite parallel to the whole coastline there. So we're heading out to the left of the course, and this is, they're going to head up. This is not the direction of the course. They'll go up round Boys Foxtrot 1, Foxtrot, up to Echo 1, Echo and Delta 1, which is basically the second chicane. They will then turn around and then they will form their formation back towards in the direction of the race course, which is anti-clockwise. So a tough course actually for the pilots because of where their elbows end up when they're turning the wheels, which is why they do it anti-clockwise today. It's going to be tough. So the Pace Cat doing exactly what it says on the tin, setting the pace. You can see them there just lined up. Now when we take off for this start, even if you are ahead of your competitor, you cannot cut their line until you hit Sierra 1, Sierra 2, Alpha 1, Alpha. They are the green, white and 2 orange boys at the end of the home straight that need to be passed before they can all make a turn to the left. It's a slight change to what we've been used to, but this is what we need. So they've made the turn now. They're now heading back towards what will be the starting gate in the correct line. And who is that just zooming out the outside? That looks like it could well be Sharjah. Pace Cat keeping it nice and steady. HPI just coming into view, sticking to the aft of that ship, to the stern of the Pace Cat. You can just see the King Fahd Causeway in the background. Ooh.
Seemed like there's a bit of a juggling.
Yeah, there's a bit of a squabble going on. There are some out there that need to pick up the pace, some that need to drop the pace. And the anticipation is building. The tension is palpable. The Pace Cat is round with HPI. HPI obviously want to be as close to that Pace Cat as possible. It does pay dividends for 222 and Xcat to hold further back. I wouldn't go as far as saying shenanigans, but it's definitely playing by all of the rules. So HPI holding back. Pace Cat is holding on. We are waiting tentatively for that flag. Not that we need it, because you'll see the Pace Cat take off like a Pace Cat on a hot tin roof. And
lovely shot of Al Khobar.
It's incredible. Okay, they're in a line. They look pretty set. 222 probably want to be slightly further ahead. Xcat slightly further back, really. And we have the yellow flag. The Pace Cat has throttled down. We're about to get another view of these Xcats. Yellow flag, and the green flag is up. And we are racing here in Saudi Arabia for the very first time in the UIM Xcat World Championships history. Xcat seem to have absolutely taken the pace. Team GB up, tearing up in third. But it's 222 Offshore that have made an incredibly blistering start. The groups have to stay together. They have to stay together. There's about to be a strong left-hander. And we are...
Is that Q8 Oil's taking one?
Yeah. Okay,
nice
we've
and
just...
wide.
That is Boy Alpha 1. They've just turned to the left. There is now a long straight to essentially a hairpin. And away we go. Let's see who's ahead. It looks like boat number 10, 222 Offshore, of Darren and Giovanni, look like they have stolen a march on this race early doors. And 222 Offshore still sticking in the lead here. They are chewing up the water here. They have taken this by the scruff of the neck. And
a little bit of bounce, eh?
It's a little bit bouncy. And away we go. We're about to take a sharp left here. And they are absolutely flying. We will very shortly get the running order. So they've got one more corner to run here, but they are being caught by Team GB. It's very rough over to the left-hand side of this course. And they're going to have to make a sharp... They're going to have to make a sharp left-hander here. You'll see it. The Xcat just drift a little round the buoy. And it's 222 Offshore in the lead.
Oof.
HPI Fujairah Racing Team trying to just bridge that gap in second. And what looks like Team GB nipping at the heels. And then further back, the pack is incredibly close together. What an opening lap to this first ever race for the UIM Xcat World Championship here in Saudi Arabia. The Alsharqiyah Grand Prix has started with the kind of fireworks that we were hoping for. We are just one lap through and it is a drama.
Let's see if 222 Offshore can keep any potential mechanical mishaps out of the way, but they seem strong as at the moment.
They do. This is a pattern that we have seen before. Boat number 10, 222 Offshore, fly out of the gates with great pace, and then as we get through 3, 4, 5, 6 laps, they really start to struggle.
Look at that rooster tail.
Wow. I mean, you can just see they are on the very limit. 4 wide coming round Bravo, Bravo 1, Bravo 2, which is the hairpin.
It's definitely a fight between second, third and fourth. Eh?
Yeah, it's gotten very, very choppy out there as well, which is 100% going to play into havoc and issues, I think. And it only lends itself to the pole sitter even further, because if you're out in front, you've got clean water in front of you. You don't have to worry about anybody else's wake. The swells don't affect you in the same way. You control the pace, you control the race. And that is exactly what these two wily old foxes, and they'll probably hit me up in the comments after for saying that, wily experienced foxes know about racing here. So it is really theirs for the taking as it stands. But of course we have the long laps that will need to be taken very shortly, in fact. But that is going to be a whole other kettle of fish.
That is a very good point you make, Stu. I imagine 222 Offshore will try to build a bit of a gap between the rest of the pack, and then take the long laps. But then they can't leave it too late. If they leave it too late, and the other guys decide to take it a bit earlier. Ooh.
Look how choppy it is just as you come round that final corner. Team GB right behind them there. And HPI Fujairah Racing in third position. Now I will say that we are having a few issues with our timing here, so we are doing everything on site only. Well done to us.
222 Offshore looking pensive.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, which I can fully appreciate.
Ooh.
And look how tightly Team GB absolutely flying off there. I think 222 Offshore have had a problem, and I think Team GB have taken the lead.
I think everyone looks equally as perplexed about what just
everybody
happened
is
there.
complete. That looks like 222 Offshore, boat number 10, has broken off onto the starboard side, and that would leave Martin and Scott, 2023 UIM Xcat World Championship winners, in the lead, with boat number 6 of HPI Fujairah Racing Team in second. And is that QA Oils in the back in third?
I think it actually is.
I think it is, with Swekat just bunching together. There's Chicha Nocella's better half, just watching what her fella is doing out there. It is HPI Fujairah Racing Team, Rosario and Giuseppe running in second at the moment. They did top qualifying today, but from the start got shoved, I think, unceremoniously into second position, and looking pretty good actually. I've got to say, they're looking fairly stable. And yeah, dipping left, right. It is definitely getting, I think it's getting choppier out there, John. I think the conditions are worsening.
Yeah, and I imagine that the drivers are taking a bit of a beating in the cockpit from all that bouncing. Must be a bit hard on the back and on the core.
Yeah. 100%. It is just so tough on the body. It's not something I would recommend if you don't really want to do it, because it is going to be a pretty aggressive ride, particularly when it gets bumpy. But there you can see that dug right hull just actually riding the waves quite well. Let's just see how they drift around this corner. No, it stayed relatively stable, but they are stuck in Team GB's wake. Team GB currently leading the way. HPI Fujairah Racing Team in second. I make it a 5-second gap at the moment. And then we've got Swekat also smashing up into third. Victory just behind them. So this is still good news for Swekat. This is still good. I've just seen Sharjah go past my window as well. You might just be able to make them out on your screens there from our fantastic drone footage.
So just to remind everyone, currently a championship standings, we have Swekat leading the pack in first position. We have HPI Fujairah Racing Team second overall. Victory Team in third. Console Brokers in fourth. Tessil Mare in fifth. QA Oils in sixth, followed by Team GB. And then Faz Marine, Sharjah, and 222 Offshore in last position in the championship overall. And we have Team GB. Seems like they're doing really well out there. Martin did look pretty relaxed when you had a little chat with him, eh?
He did. I never know if he's relaxed or terrified of the fact that I've managed to grab him. I could see him sneaking through my peripherals. So
I think he did try to sneak away.
100% he was sneaking. But, you know, I caught him, and that's all that matters. Yeah, they do go into most races, at least kind of on the surface, being very zen, looking very relaxed, certainly very focused. They have a kind of ritual before they get in to the Xcat that I sneakily see them getting on with, where they just kind of hone themselves in. They are fearless when it comes to what they do in those crafts, and it's pretty impressive. So the fact that they can do that, but it just goes to show, they're resolute. This is why they're champions. They get knocked down, but they get up again. They're never going to keep them down, and off they go. And that shows where they are right now, leading this inaugural race here in Saudi Arabia for the UIM Xcat World Championships for the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix. Q8 Oils there, so boat number 17, they ended up upside down this morning in official practice, thankfully. Just a little bit bruised rather than anything more serious, and obviously the Xcat has been fully signed off and ready for duty, and they are out there performing valiantly. So they're just coming round the top of the corner now, and as you can see, it is getting rather choppy, a little bit aggressive, and Sharjah are getting quite a bit of air there. I think if this wind continues, we're going to have a problem. And just as an FYI, out of my window in the marina, I can see boat number 10, 222 offshore, coming into port. And once again, unfortunately, it is just the poorest luck. We don't have favourites. Of course we don't. We want to see everybody out there. But it is such a shame when this seems to happen over and over and over again. And in they come.
Particularly when they perform so well, it's almost, I don't want to say given and be unfair to the rest of the drivers, but they have been taking good positions during the pole position sessions, and then they go into the race and unfortunately are plagued by these issues.
Yeah, it just seems to be every single time. They qualify well, they start their races ridiculously well, and then we get to 2 or 3 laps in, and that's the end of the game, unfortunately, and it has happened again. I'm sure we'll catch up with them after this race and see what the problem was. I'm gutted for them, I really, really am. But there is still an incredibly hot race going on out there in the Arabian Gulf, just off the coast here of Al Khabar, south of the city of Dammam, and they are giving us a show. It is getting rough and ready out there. You can see just towards the back of the course, which is exactly what you're looking at now, it is very much chopping up. We were warned about this. The expert said to us in a briefing a couple of days ago that if the wind picks up at the back there, they are going to know about it. And truer a word has not been spoken. As we see boat number 22, Consul Brokers of Alfredo Amato and Roberto Lopiano. A really good duo, actually. They've worked really well together since they've got in the cockpit together, haven't they, John?
Yeah, indeed. Currently, though, still standing, I think, in last position, unfortunately. We are still encountering some issues with the timing. So, unfortunately, as mentioned by Stu, we're playing this all by eye, so do excuse us with the updates.
So it looks like, I wonder if one of the crews have taken their long lap, actually. Again, unfortunately we can't see the updates, but the long lap does add probably 25 seconds, generically speaking, to a lap. And there's the management crew of that 22 boat, Consul Brokers, Emanuele with the shades and the hat on, trying not to look straight down the barrel of the camera. Another one ready for a Vogue magazine cover. Great job. Sharjah getting more air, and Consul Brokers actually look like they're catching up there with Sharjah. I think they've taken Q8 Oils, you see, so I think Q8 Oils may have taken their long lap. and that has given console brokers the advantage. Alfredo Amato, who was on pole in Italy, did a great job alongside Roberto Lopiano in Palermo, if my memory serves me correctly. And they're just tinkering. What's going on? What's our best move? What are we going to do? This is a game of chess, John. It's not an Xcat race at that point. What a wonderful shot there. This is down the back straight just after the hairpin.
Yeah, you're quite right about that. And actually, the unfortunate result for 222 offshore acts as a testament to that. It's not about having just a great start. Beyond mechanical issues, the actual racing, there's also the long lap factor. So anything can change at any moment.
And there we have the leaders of the 2024 UIM Xcat World Championship. Obviously, we spoke to Eric beforehand. Seba managed to slip past me, which is fair enough. I've spoken to Seba quite a few times over the years. But Xcat will be happy with this. They remain what I believe to be in 4th position. And that will give them 22 points towards their tilt for the title. And that will set them in good stead. They will want HPI, however, to drop further back, because at the moment HPI will grab themselves 30 points, and that will be very handy for the brothers from Naples. And Xcat we're sticking with for a while now, just rounding the top of the course. They're now heading down towards the final corner. There you can just see boat number 10 being lifted out of the water there. And the Swedish team just dialed in to what's going on in front of them.
You can never quite tell if they're happy or disappointed by the performance. They seem always very stoic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to tell what they're thinking sometimes, but it just shows how much they are in the zone. So Xcat now hammering through those checkered boys and flying towards the first corner. Now, if they're doing their long lap, we will see them just sail past that boy on the left. If they don't take a left now, they're doing the long lap. Maybe we'll see it in a second. The chap in the hat looks an awful lot like Eric. I wonder if he's related.
I think our technical issues have been rectified, fortunately. So we have Team GB in first position, followed by HPI Fujairah Racing Team in second, Victory Team in third, Xcat in fourth, Sharjah Team in fifth, QA Oils in sixth, QA Oils in seventh, Tesselmar in eighth, and 222 Offshore in last position. And indeed, we have got 3 boats that have taken their first long lap. Yeah, should be a little bit easier to keep track of all the boats.
Can I just say a big well done to us? We got that pretty much bang on the money.
Pretty much.
Just goes to show you don't need technology for everything. And that is something that I think Scott Williams would definitely agree with me on. And Team GB out in the lead. Boat number 8, they are the defending 2023 UIM Xcat champions. They know what they're doing. They've got new team manager in place today, Maria, who is currently on the phone, just chatting to Scott and Martin, no doubt, just saying to them, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to play it, this is what we're going to... And Ragesh there, who is team manager of Faz Marine, just showing how much of a family this Xcat paddock is, just maybe offering a word of advice. Faz Marine aren't out there, it makes no difference to them. Ragesh is an incredibly experienced individual and helping everybody in the team manager's area. So that's nice to see. That's what I really enjoy about this championship. And if you want to see more of how this championship behaves and how what this championship get up to when we're not on the water, make sure you do follow the UIM Xcat World Championships official social media pages by typing Xcat Racing into your favourite search engine or looking for Xcat on social media. You can, of course, check out the website as well to keep fully up to date with our schedules and what is happening with this incredible International Powerboat Championship Series. Team GB there getting a little bit of upward motion. That won't be doing the spinal cords any good, but they look flat. Now see, where the water has started to chop up a bit, this will lean into Team GB and what they want to achieve out of what is left of this championship throughout the race today. The race tomorrow, of course, we have the second race of the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix here in Saudi Arabia, and then we move into the final weekend in Dubai in 3 weeks' time. But that will be a story for another day. Right now we are focused firmly on Saudi Arabia and what the Xcats have to offer in front of us.
So far we have pretty much all the teams performing at least one long lap. So we have QA, Team GB, Xcat, Victory, Sharjah, Console Brokers and the HPI having performed their first long lap. Tessel Mare has just decided to take their first one as well.
Great stuff. There's HPI Fujairah Racing Team just in front of us there, just managing to turn that corner. That's a beautiful turn to the right.
Actually, I'm really liking this. I'm liking that pretty much the whole pack has taken their first long lap. So it's kind of still all out there. Things could shuffle quite quickly.
Yeah, and this is the thing. You know, you think you've just got your eye in and how everything is going to be played out in front of you, and then suddenly everything changes. And there we see the HPI Fujairah Racing team manager. Also happens to be the dad of Rosario and Giuseppe. He's just looking intently on. This is a good result if it stays like this for HPI Fujairah Racing Team, because they're keeping Xcat behind them.
Very much so, with Xcat now in fourth position as it stands. So HPI currently in first place, Team GB in second, Victory Team in third, Xcat in fourth, Sharjah in fifth, QA Oils in sixth, Console Brokers in seventh, Tessel Mare in eighth, and Triple Two Offshore in last position and out of the race.
So if HPI stay as it stands, they will take an 8-point bite out of Xcat's lead, and that is not a bad place to be, bearing in mind that the finishing positions of today's race dictate the starting positions of tomorrow's race. So as it stands, HPI Fujairah Racing Team will start on pole, and they are currently leading the race as Team GB look like they have taken their long lap.
Yeah, both Team GB and HPI Fujairah Racing Team taking their second long laps. Interesting tactics from both Daddy Schiano Di Cola and Team GB.
And
I think it's a pretty good move, to be honest. It seems like the fight now is between Team GB and HPI Fujairah Racing Team. There is a healthy lead with the rest, so good to get them out the way.
yeah, it would make sense. It is really, really tough. Really, really tough knowing when to take the long laps. And there is an exact science to it. You know, last year, Team GB actually got it pretty right last year. And it ultimately paid dividends because they walked away with the title. Xcat, towards the end of last year, the beginning of this year, have been getting it pretty much bang on the money as well, and they came into this weekend's racing leading the pack. So there is a correlation there. If you get your long lap strategy right, it does start to pay off throughout the course of the year. So it definitely has an impact on how you perform. And Team GB there, just skimming over the water. This is exactly what you want to see. If you were the team manager, you want to see you can see the bow there, just skipping up above the water, reducing the drag, reducing the friction. You basically just want just the stern, just in there with the propellers submerged, giving you the maximum amount of forward motion with the minimum amount of drag.
So as it stands, we have pretty much all of the pack done their second long laps. We just have QA Oils and Sharjah still to take their second long laps. As it stands, we still have Team GB in first position, Xcat in second, Victory Team in third, Sharjah in fourth, HPI Fujairah Racing Team in fifth, QA Oils in sixth, Console Brokers in seventh, Tessel Mare in eighth, and 222 Offshore, unfortunately, out of the race.
Yeah, 222 Offshore so out of the race, the boat is out of the water, which makes sense. The crew on land can start working on it almost immediately. So Team GB back in the lead, and you can see them just about to zip past the breakwater that signifies the home straight of this race course. I like this race course format, if I'm honest. I think it's fantastic. We've seen several different iterations, obviously depending on where you are and who's hosting us. Xcat have got an engine cover that has come loose on their port engine, on their Mercury ROS racing engine. 400 horsepower produced per piece, so you're pumping 800 through the rear of these Xcats. Victory have smelt blood. They are all over the back of Xcat. You can just about see the engine covering flying around. This is not good news. The best case scenario is it comes off, but I think this has caused an issue. They are slowing right down. This is drama of the highest order, John.
Indeed, it seems like a Victory Team will be stealing that second position from Xcat. We did say earlier on in the pole position session that you cannot count out Salem and Asa out of any race.
No, they are experts. They are pinpoint sharp. They spend their lives on the water.
Although team manager for Victory not looking particularly impressed.
I wonder if Xcat just dipped in front of them there. And there we see boat number 88, Tess El Mare, Ciccio Nocella and Jan Ries Korteland. I've got to say, they look very balanced. They are the smallest boat out there, and that causes some issue. They just cannot get the speeds that the others necessarily can reach. But with choppier water, it balances out. And so there we see, just skimming across the water there, good form. You can tell that the throttle is down. And there, the wide shot from the breakwater. Well, healthy crowd on that breakwater, which has got limited entry. So not everybody is lucky enough to have a ticket to that area. There's a whole viewing area up the beach as well, and we've seen a steady stream of fans building themselves into the areas that they can watch. So as we stick with number 88, Tessa Mare of Francis Nocella and Jan Ries Korteland, we can just see how that Xcat is performing. Beautifully balanced, beautifully poised, great turn. And there's where having a shorter boat actually comes into its own, because it can just turn on a dime there. A fantastic showing there from the Belgian boat. Ciccio from the north of Belgium, and doing a great job there representing that North Sea coast as Tess El Mare shoot past. You can see Aurelio there on the side as well. A fashion brand, I'm led to believe.
So we still have HPI Fujairah Racing Team in first position, Xcat in second, Victory Team in third. Bit of a hot fight going on between Xcat and Victory Team. Sharjah Team in fourth, Team GB in fifth, Console Brokers in sixth, QA Oils in seventh, Tensel Mare in 8th, and 222 Offshore out of the race.
And as you can see there, this is what makes this such a fantastic venue. But with the wind picking up and coming from the Gulf, it is just bouncing and bouncing, and bouncing so much that the camera had itself a bit of an issue. So Sharjah just coming up behind Tessel Mare there. Just a word on Sharjah. We saw them in Fujairah, and we see them here again in Saudi Arabia, and they are consistently consistent. Scarily so, actually. They have a very fast boat. That was Team GB coming up behind Tessel Mare, my mistake. And Team GB very close to actually lapping Tessel Mare, but putting in a valiant performance there. Valiant performance. Consul Brokers shoreside looking relatively happy. If I can lip read, I think that was vai.
Yeah, they're slowly climbing up the leaderboard.
Aren't they just?
Fair play to them. Obviously, this race has an added element of importance because this will also dictate the starting lineup for race 2 tomorrow. So it is a race and a pole position session at the same time.
Yeah, it's got a lot going on. Now, Xcat, you can see that housing is still playing havoc, and they've just pulled over and let Sharjah come through, which is fair dues. They just know they can't compete. They do have to finish the race. They will get points. If you can't win or podium, it's still vital that you finish the race, because that will still give you a fighting chance over the course of the entire championship. And Team GB just streaking past my screen in front of me.
Yeah, but I'd have to agree with you, sure. You know, it's not finished until it's finished. You know, Faz Marine, the legends, also known as the legends, you know, for a while seemed unbeatable. But as time has progressed, the rest of the pack has become increasingly more competitive, and we see Faz Marine not being so dominant.
No,
out there on the
absolutely.
water.
And Sharjah there just backing off, with Xcat now coming back in front of them there as well. And Sharjah coming back. Xcat taking a big line round there, and Sharjah flying round with Consul Brokers behind them, and Q8 Oils now battling elbows out with Xcat. Xcat, I think, know that they're not in a competitive position. They have their strobe light on, I can see from here, and that usually means I'm slow.
Yeah, unfortunately. Fair play to Eric and Sebastian, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It is how I wasn't ready for that. It is how the cookie crumbles. That housing is still just
taking a beating.
Oh,
poor housing.
My word, it really is. I think they're retiring. They are. Yeah. Strobes on, they're coming in. Oh, that is a big moment for this 2024 UIM Xcat World Championship. They are in. Xcat, who came into this weekend leading the championship with 192 points, they are going to be out of this first race of the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix in Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, Martin and Scott in Team GB's boat number 8 are ploughing forward. I might start calling them the Mersey Missile, actually. I don't know why I haven't thought of that before after all these years. They are flying. So, Team GB are absolutely dialed in. They've got one more corner of this lap to take, and then it is a flat-out race to the checkered boys.
Do you think Xcat decided, let's not let the engine take too much of a beating, let's just call it a day?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the reality is, you know, nothing is cheap in motorsport. And, you know, if they can save the engine, get back out there tomorrow, get back out there for the final rounds of the championship in Dubai as well, then they still have a very realistic chance of walking away as world champions. As it stands now, if they do themselves damage to the housing, damage to, and I'm just going to describe their engine as they come in a second, but Team GB on screen at the moment, absolutely flying, leading the pack. Maria, team manager, must be very, very, very happy with what Martin and Scott are doing out there at the moment. Fantastic performance from the defending champions as Xcat come through back into the marina. And Team GB just holding on in there. And you can see the support boats there. Just a shout out to our support crews, especially the Bergamo Scuba Angels, who are on hand if ever there is an issue. In fact, they got Martin and Scott out of their Xcat earlier this year when they had a bit of a smash and were a bit battered and bruised in Fujairah. But a fantastic job all support crews do. So that's Xcat coming in front of me, engines off, and that port engine is completely demolished in terms of the housing. So make sure you do follow the official UIM Xcat World Championship social pages to see what comes of that, with interviews and much more that we can show you from your favourite teams and your favourite pilots. But we are on hand with Team GB.
Yeah, who are currently still in first position, followed by HPI Fujairah Racing Team, Victory Team in third, followed by Sharjah Team, Console Brokers, and then QA Oils.
So Team GB, whoa, true to form there, nearly going tail over head there, but they're still absolutely flying. We had lap 12 go by not that long ago, so we are getting very, very close to the pointy end of this first race of the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix, which itself is the first visit to Saudi Arabia for the UIM Xcat World Championship. And Team GB are dialed in, honed in, and ready to get their fingers on some silverware, which they have been desperate to do all year. Very, very close to that buoy there. You don't want to hit the buoy. That is a rather aggressive fine.
Indeed.
So you don't want to do that. I don't know if the organisers take it in cash or credit, but either way, it is expensive. And
so lap 13, we still have Team GB crossing the timing buoys in first position, HPI Fujairah Racing Team in second, and Victory Team in third.
And this is a great result for Giuseppe and Rosario if it stays like this for their championship running. They stay in second, they will get 30 points and will be right behind Xcat. This is also a great result for Victory, because Victory, as it currently stands in third position, will get 26 points, and they themselves will take a gigantic step in the right direction of eating into Xcat and HPI. So this is very good news for those two crews. And I imagine the news coming into boat number 96 is keep it steady, chaps. Keep it steady.
Indeed, indeed. They just need to keep this position, take as many points as possible. Obviously, if the opportunity presents itself, which I doubt, to be honest, that they'll manage to overtake Team GB at this point, unless something goes horribly wrong.
Well, by my guessing, HPI Fujera Racing Team are about 20 seconds off of Team GB. So we will see just how it plays out. We're getting very, very, very close to the flag. We will see an Xcat flag be waved, and then we'll know we're on the penultimate lap, and then we will see, of course, the checkered flag, as is tradition, to signify the end of a motorsport race. And that will announce our winners. And then we see console brokers just zipping past. And there's HPI Fujera Racing Team, boat number 96 of Giuseppe and Rosario Sciano di Cola, the Neapolitans. And, oh yeah, that is Victory getting very, very close to Foxtrot 1, but happy enough to do so. They're in a good position. This is very, very good for boat number 96 and boat number 7. I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah, Victory Team in third position in the overall standings. So let's see. Obviously we have the Dubai GP coming up, and we have the second race obviously tomorrow. It's all out there for the picking.
And we have the white flag. So this is the penultimate lap of this, the first race of the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix. Now the palms will be getting sweaty for all of the crews and the team managers and everybody here back on land, as we can see here. So team manager Maria just looking on there nervously, talking the chaps through it. Keep it steady, Martin. Keep it steady, Scott. Do not.
Seems like she's keeping the nerves at bay.
I don't know, the smile's looking pretty good. She's looking pretty happy. Team GB, they have rounded the hairpin. They have now rounded boy Charlie 1. They've got 3 more corners to go. And once they get through that, it'll be checkered flag. I remind you again, everybody watching at home, this is the defending 2023 champions. They know how to win. They have had a very difficult championship. They are getting close, very close, to winning here in Saudi Arabia. They would be the first winners of a race here in Saudi Arabia for the UIM Xcat World Championships.
And there we have Team Sweecat, Sebastian Groth and Erik Sundblad Johansson, unfortunately retiring from the race.
Yeah, hugely disappointing luck for them. The championship is now blown wide open, and Team GB are on the home straight. Boat number 8. They are through the timing buoy. The flag is being waved, and we have our first winners of a UIM Xcat World Championship race here in Saudi Arabia. And the winners are 2023 defending champions, Team GB. In second place, we have HPI Fujera Racing Team, Giuseppe and Rosario Sciano di Cola. A fantastic result for their wider ambitions to be named world champions. In third place, Victory Team. A fantastic step forward in the correct direction for them as well. We'll bring you the full rundown in just a second. But that is a fantastic race, a race worthy of this inaugural race here, the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix. What an absolute... I mean...
Gotta say that we fell our predictions nowhere. We did not get this one right this time around.
No, we didn't. And that is why we love the Xcat World Championships.
Indeed.
Because no matter what you think is going to happen, Form goes out of the window, and then we have our winners. Yeah, I can imagine the cockpit needs to be open. It is going to be warm in there.
Yeah.
Extraordinarily warm. And we just have the last few Xcats now finishing.
There's a happy man on top of that cockpit.
And out gets Scott. And just a wonderful, wonderful race. And there we go. A happy shoreside crew. And a well done to all the team. Maria there, the first time managing the team on her own. And a fantastic result. A well done to everybody in Team GB. And of course, a well done to everybody across the Xcat paddock. That was an absolute doozy of a race. I've got to say, it was fantastic. And the pace cat now will just do the rounds, just to make sure everybody's okay.
Indeed, so we have gold going to Team GB, silver to HPI Fujairah Racing Team, and bronze to Victory Team.
Oh, we're going Olympic style with the
Why
delivery of
not?
the medals. No, well done. Now the checkered flag will be thrown to Scott there. First time in a while. Martin happy as Larry. Kids in a sweet shop. And the Mersey missile does it again. Well done. They've had a really tough run in, and they have done an incredible job. And they are over the moon, and rightfully so. A wider word on the championship. So with HPI Racing Fujairah Team finishing second and Victory finishing third, that is going to blow this championship wide open, coupled with the fact that Xcat were unable to finish the race. They are still leading the championship as it stands, but by a whisker. They are now ahead by only 7 points leading into tomorrow. Also worth reminding ourselves, sorry John to cut you off, that Team GB will start on pole tomorrow.
That's it. HPI Fujairah Racing Team in particular in a very good spot for the championship overall going into tomorrow's race. So they can put another solid performance in. They're on their way to being overall champions.
Yeah, we're getting very, very close now to the final run-in of this 2024 UIM Xcat World Championship. And all that remains for me to say is thank you ever so much, wherever you are in the world, for tuning in to this, our inaugural race in Saudi Arabia, the first race of the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix. And if that has left you with a taste for more, well, never fear, viewers, because tomorrow we have the second race of this particular Grand Prix here in Saudi Arabia, which will start at 3 o'clock local time, and you can tune in wherever you watch this one, because I'm assuming it worked for you because you can hear us. But thank you ever so much for joining us. John, thank you as always for being the voice of calm and reason in this exceedingly warm commentary booth. And make sure that you do follow the UIM Xcat World Championship on social media to catch up with all the celebrations post-race and see what the teams had to say about this very first race of the Alsharqiyah Grand Prix here in Saudi Arabia. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you tomorrow for the second race of this extraordinary Grand Prix.